Episode 192. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We have the Avengers, number 22, and we have the Justice Society of America, number 3. Let's check them out right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to talk about The Avengers by Jed MacKay. I have not been very happy with this series so far. I started picking up again. I actually dropped it during that whole thing with them fighting the weird god things, whatever the hell they were called, and the impossible city that's floating in the air. I really hate that idea. They're still using it because Jed MacKay wanted the Avengers to have their own Justice League watchtower. It's a really bad move as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, it exists, and at least right now, until somebody blows it out of the sky. But I started collecting again when they put Storm on the Avengers team, and they kept saying that, you know, we need mutant representation. But I'm like, you have Scarlet Witch on there. She's a mutant. And then somebody said, no, they retconned that. I'm like, isn't she the daughter of Magneto? Isn't he a mutant? I don't know what they're doing. How can they retcon that? That's doesn't really work. But anyway, Storm's on the team, and then now they're doing Black Cat, which is, I don't know how she could be on the team, so I was interested to see what they were going to do with her, so I decided to pick up this arc as kind of the last hurrah. If it doesn't work, I'm out kind of thing. But the good because it even says on the top, meet the newest member, and it's got Black Cat there. So yeah, I'm like, what? Black Cat as an Avenger? Doesn't make any sense. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So the good news is it feels like the characters are having a good time, if that makes any sense. It's almost like going to watch a movie where you feel like the actors are having a good time, so it makes you have a good time. So that's the only thing really going for this, because it's a little weird. So Kang originally came to them and gave them information, but I guess there's another set of information on a drive or something like that is wandering around, and everybody's kind of vying for it, including like the Collector or the Grand Master or whatever. So they have a meeting about how they're probably going to do this, and of course it's in outer space. It's always outer space. There's nothing ever going on in Earth. It's always in, everywhere else. So Carol's given a meeting there. And I guess that the Scarlet Witch went to go see a god or whatever. And they decide to make plans for this heist. And I do like it how it's kind of told, because it's kind of told after the events kind of go on. So they start the event, and then they go back to the plan. So you kind of see what's going on. But anyway, I kind of like, we have Scarlet Witch and Vision kind of walking in, and you can see they're kind of hovering. They're both hovering, even though they look like they're walking. So I think that's kind of fun. And again, I think there's a lot of fun in this issue. I really wish it wasn't in space. I just hate the whole Avengers in space thing. But anyway, then Storm shows up, and she's like, what did you call me? Blah, blah, blah. We're going to start a fight, okay? And, of course, the fight is a diversion. And they're like, put up your dukes. Put them up now. We're going to have a girl fight. And I don't know what that thing is there with them, having she has X's on the eyes. So, it's pretty funny. So anyway, that's what the real fight ends up looking like, and I like how Vision's stuck in the middle with and that goes to the artist, of course, with the cape kind of going over his eyes. Says like, "What's going on?" And then we have Carol show up with the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion with an umbrella. That's just weird, man. And Tony is, of course, the Tin Man, and then Captain Falcon is Cowardly Lion. I'm like, where did that come from? Why is everybody doing furries nowadays? It's just so weird. But anyway, we go back to the planning area again, and then we go into the fight scene again. All this stuff. So meanwhile, Tony's trying to break into the vault, and it's so weird to see Captain Falcon with an umbrella. It's just weird. And she's like, he's like, yeah, hold this and make the connection. Yeah. I'll Back to the Future. Meanwhile, we have him fighting off the guards. I don't know what's going to happen after that. But anyway, she creates the electrical charge, and Captain Falcon beats everybody up, and they get in there, and it is gone. He's like, it's not here. I don't know what's going on now. So, and you kind of figure, as you know, what's going on. And then you have the Vision going, what? I don't know why they use this for a splash page. It's really a waste of a splash page. There's literally nothing going on. But then they realize that the Black Cat is there. And I guess that Tony or whatever else had an affair with her also. But I guess Kang is there without his helmet on. I don't know. I don't like having Kang without a helmet on. He should just be an alien, I think. But anyway, so we have him going, pointing out the people that are there. And that's when Tony's like, I think I don't want to be involved here. And he's like, oh my God, it's the Black Cat in space. That's what doesn't make any sense, man. Why would the Black Cat be in space? It doesn't fit. And this is what I know Jed McKay wrote Black Cat in the past, but she's a street level character. Why couldn't it be on Earth? And there's the Grand Master going, let's see what happens here. So he's kind of manipulating the whole thing. And I guess he's playing against this other guy here, who's like the big baddie. So, and I don't know what this is all to get Kang's greatest torments. His name is Myrodin. Myrodin? I don't know. So that's it for that. Will it make a good film? No, it's in space with Black Cat. It doesn't. Everybody's sort of like, what? It doesn't make any sense. They should have just left it on Earth and, left it at that. It would have been better. All right, so let's jump into JSA. So I am going to finish out the run and see how the storyline ends. But this is the story of the JSA are kind of in hell or whatever. They've been, part of them in hell, and the other half is looking for them. I don't know. It's always, we just had this in the Knights one there, the Silent Night thing, where half the team was somewhere else, and the sigils, but I guess in the last one, Hawkman got stabbed or something, but we find out he's okay, he's just being held captive by demons, and they have all this stuff, and he's like, oh, look at this metal is really cool. And they're like, it's nth metal. And then we see him getting stabbed, and he's like, no, we want your torment to last, so we healed you up. So that's what's going on there, and of course the head demon's like, you need to go see the boss. And anyway, before we continue, I kind of want to throw my own hat into the ring here. Remember that I am a creator myself, and this is my sci-fi. This is Destiny Aurora, so if you're into sci-fi, this is a whole 150-page graphic novel based on the first novel of the series, which is on Amazon. All four of them are, and it's also the first novel is also on Audible. And then this is my newest book, which I'm working right now on a new comic that I'm going to do some pages on, and then I'm going to launch on Kickstarter maybe in February, or probably late February, because we're going to be doing Green Hornet, which I'll show you in a second if you haven't seen it. But this is Lords of LA issue 2, and this is my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. Again, that's issue 2, and this is issue 1, and the artwork inside is just as good as anything on Marvel and DC, and it is a vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood, and it's kind of like True Blood meets The Godfather, with plenty of blood, sex, and gore. They're double-sized issues, so they're 48 pages apiece. In fact, there's the Marilyn issue or cover, because she's actually in it as she makes an appearance, and you can see the Nosferatu thing in the back. Of course, I did this long before Nosferatu came out. That is the Helene cover, the Werepanther cover. I also have these all digitally, so if you don't want them shipped, I also have it digitally. This also comes in a nude version. This is the Samurai cover, and this is the Helene cover. So if you'd like a copy, let me know, and we can work it out. Just comment in the comment section or email me. Plus, I am hooked up with Moonstone Books. They are doing a 50th anniversary Green Hornet anthology book. This is not it. This is just an example of what they've done in the past. But you're going to love this. We have, as the lead writer, we have Timothy Zahn, who created Star Wars, Thrawn for Star Wars. Plus, we have Kevin J. Anderson, who did Dune, as well as some other Star Wars books. I think he's also done Star Trek. He's done a pile of stuff, a bunch of sci-fi. And we have like 10 other writers on this thing. It's going to be amazing. Brandon Easton, who wrote for Captain Carter, not Captain Carter, but Agent Carter for Marvel. We have Bill Willingham on it. The cover art is by Matt Wagner, who did Batman and Grendel. It's just going to be amazing anniversary thing. So if you're into pulp or into sci-fi or whatever, or into the Green Hornet, you're going to love it. I'm going to be launching that at the end of this month. So definitely go to greenhornetnoir.com or click the link in the description below. It'll take you over there, and you can just click Notify Me. There's also a video there, and it's a whole list of all of the writers. All right, so let's jump back into the JSA. So anyway, he's getting tortured by the thing, and now is going to meet the boss. Then we switch back over to the people that are still on Earth, and there's Jade. Jade is the daughter of Alan Scott, who is the original Green Lantern, and she's running the show right now. I don't know who the other guy is. I thought he was... It looks like Hawkeye, doesn't it? But of course it's the wrong... It's not Marvel, it's DC. So I guess they had a relationship at one time, and he's like, I want to get back with you. And she's like, yeah, not right now. And he's like, well, okay, we'll just be friends and we'll lead together until this whole thing blows over. And she's like, okay. I really like the face there. She's like, she looks kind of dorky. She's like, oh, okay. And anybody who knows me knows that I like green women, so I like Jade. And then I guess Jeremy's doing a one-shot thing with Sorrow. Yay, Sorrow. Which we're trying to figure out right now, because I want to do a kind of celebration for Aquaman coming back. So I'm going to have him on the channel. We're going to do a live feed. Just FYI, and if you're interested in that, let me know too in the comments section, because I'm going to try to market it so I get some viewers, because we're going to be live. But anyway, so I don't know who's is that. I think is that Obsidian in. I'm not sure who that is. That's in the hospital bed, but we have Dr. Midnight there or whatever. She's like, there's something wrong here. And she adjusts the lens or adds something to the lens and realizes that there's something in the blood because he's getting referenced. It can't be Obsidian because it's still got the bad guy still, practicing to be or pretending to be him. So I don't know who that guy is in the hospital. I wish they had said the name, but they didn't. So he says, yeah, I knew you were going to figure it out, but you need to die. And she's like, no, I'm not going to die. Okay, maybe I'll die. And then I really wish it stayed with that, but we go back to Hawkman, and he gets to meet the big baddie, and he's like, "Oh, it's you! I will kick your butt." It's one of the guys from the Injustice Society. So he's like, "I'm gonna kick your butt," and he's like, "No, you're not, because you're tied up." And I forgot Wotan. I have no idea who that is, but anyway, he knows who it is. Then we go back into here where we have the Flash is in trouble, and we have Solomon Grundy, and we have another kind of a Ruby Red Lantern. That's from like the original one. I don't know if it was the original Alan Scott villain. I don't know anything about her. But then we go back to Wildcat and Dr. Fate, and I don't really like the fact that Dr. Fate is a kid and wears yellow sneakers. But anyway, he's like, "You have to do this, kid, because we need to go save him. I believe in you. You better do it." He's like, "All right, I'll do it." So anyway, so he does, and he ends up showing up and blasts them all apart. And he's like, "I am Dr. Fate." And they're like, "Great, we want your helmet." "You will not have my helmet. That would leave me helmetless." Dark helmet. So anyway, Alan Scott's having a conversation with Hawkgirl. And Hawkgirl's like, "I know that me and Carter are not together anymore, which is Hawkman, but I still feel responsible for him, so we need to go find him." And he's like, "You go, girl. You go." And then we have a big demon guy that's all chained up. I'm not sure what's going on there. And Carter's in some trouble. So, yeah, it's not looking real good for him. And he's like, "You cannot break those binds because it is the entrails of an angel," or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, this other girl pops out and says, "Do you need help? Because I'm going to try to help you." And he's like, "Yes, please." And then there's Aquaman, which I have to read. I think there's a little preview, so I have to read that. All right, so that's it for that. But yeah, let's do a recap real quick. Will this make a good film or television show? Like when the Stargirl was on? Yeah, this could be fun as a Stargirl thing. They didn't have Jade was in it for about 5 seconds, but she was never green. I was kind of disappointed with that. But I like the Stargirl show, and that had all these characters in it for the most part. But this could have been a really good series for that. As far as a film's concerned, I don't know if the JSA can do a film. I think it's more based for television. And Avengers, no. Black Cat in space, no. With Kang, But I'm gonna read it just to see what happens with it. But Jed McKay is just making weird choices. I'll stick with Moon Knight with him, and I don't think he can really do anything else. But at least the characters feel like they're having a good time, so I'm having a good time reading it. But it won't translate to film at all. All right, and remember to give me a thumbs up if you can. If you can like the video, that would be amazing. And why don't you subscribe to click that little bell down there and get notified about when I do movie reviews, comic reviews, TV reviews, a whole bunch of reviews. And jumping into 2025, I'd love to. We're about 400 people short of 4,000. So I'd love to get there. If you can help me get there, then great. And remember to go to greenhornetnoir.com and get signed up for notifications there. It's going to be amazing. All right, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, bye-bye.